I'm Noah Drum.
And I'm Zach Hall, and we are the Geeks That Speak.
This is the podcast where we nerd out about pretty much any pop culture.
From video games, Star Wars, and zombies.
To music, movies, and comics.
You just never know where the combo will go
on GeeksspeaK. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of GeeksspeaK.
Today we are going to be talking about episode 4 of The Bad Batch. And
things are a little different today.
A little different, yes.
Zach's the one wearing the hat.
I'm the one wearing the hat, and this guy has his hair dyed. I don't usually have mine dyed, but his hair is down.
Yeah. Well, mine's normally down, but normally I'm the one with the hat, and your hair is flowing in the breeze.
Yeah.
But you came with a hat today, and I just dyed my hair, so I figured, you know what? Let's switch it up. They can see the blueberry-ness. It's supposed to be blue. It is pretty dark, though, but it looks a little better in person. Not much, but a little. But yeah. So
we're talking about the newest episode called Cornered of The Bad Batch, and it's an interesting one. Me personally, I think it's a little filler.
Well, all right. I guess I would have to agree. But I don't know. We heard someone else say that on a video we were watching about how, like, this seems to be a bunch of filler episodes.
Yeah, which I partially agree with.
I mean, I guess if you break it down and look at it, episode 1 was great. I liked that.
Oh, yeah.
No argument there, not filler. But you kind of brought up a good point. Like, episode 2 is, like, it's not bad, don't get me wrong. But think about where they started at the start of the episode, where they ended.
Yeah.
It was just, like, on the ship.
Yeah, literally. And that is honestly how the last 3 episodes started and ended. Them being on the ship, landing on a planet, doing whatever they needed to do on the planet.
Omega took off with them in the first episode, right?
Yes.
Okay, because I remember they left and had to come back for
her. They didn't leave and have to come back for her. They left to go on a mission, then came back to Camino, and that's when Omega was like, yeah, I want to go with you.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that was first episode. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, second episode is pretty much like... It was like you didn't need it to further the overall story, but it was good side information. I liked it. We got to see Cut, which I didn't really know about.
Yeah.
So that made me go do more research. And, like, the more I watch this show, the more I'm kicking myself in the ass for not having watched The Clone Wars or The Mandalorian. Because, dude, stuff is starting to connect up, and I'm so pissed at how much stuff is flying over my head.
A lot, yeah. Although they are doing it in a way where, like, they're trying to connect everything to each other the same way that the MCU is doing that.
That gets me excited.
But to explain what I mean by that, in this episode of The Bad Batch, we see a returning character from The Mandalorian. You may know her as Fennec Shand. She was hired to retrieve Omega. And although they didn't have to bring her back...
Wait, I don't technically think she was hired. I think someone just put a bounty out for her, and she just happened to try to answer it.
Maybe.
Saying she's hired is like, specifically...
But
But I feel like she is hired because she talks to that dude or the person saying that she didn't get him.
Yeah. But the point is that it literally could have been any assassin or bounty hunter.
Right.
Like, I do like how she is brought into the series, but I wasn't the biggest fan of her character in The Mandalorian, so...
I liked her character in... I mean, don't get me wrong, she's a bitch in this episode, but I liked her character in the show.
No, she's a badass, and she's definitely done a lot more in this episode than she has in The Mandalorian, and even then she still fails her mission.
Spoiler alert, she fails this one too.
Yep.
For now, anyway. Clearly, from the ending, she's not done.
She'll be back later in the series. We just
Right.
don't know when. So,
But off topic, to get back to your original filler statement, I would have to say, like, I half agree. Like, it seems like first episode was good. Second one, I guess you could call filler. The third one I liked.
yeah,
Especially, like, Omega getting her little bedroom. That was just cool to me.
honestly, the main thing that I liked from episode 3 is the fact that the Empire is starting to implement the actual civilian soldiers, like the actual people, the transcripted soldiers.
The thing that was weird about that, though, is, like, it shows exactly kind of why that's a bad idea, because they just
Yeah.
went against Crosshair, like, yeah, no, we're not going to blindly follow orders.
Yeah, Tarkin wants to shut that program down, but like the clones are the ones that follow the orders. So.
Right. Maybe not all to completion, but I'll take, like, 99% clone rate to probably 80% human
Yeah.
rate.
Probably, if not even less, because think about it, there are also a bunch of transcripted soldiers that defect from the Empire.
Very true,
So,
very true.
like a lot, dude, a lot.
But so yeah, I guess you could say it seems to be a pattern of a, like, pretty good episode, sort of filler episode, pretty good episode, sort of filler.
Yeah, something like that, honestly. So the Bad Batch, they they're on their ship. They need to
Something breaks.
something breaks, or actually nothing breaks this time, I don't think. They need to get credits, food, and
Nothing breaks
fuel.
on their own, but they tear their ship apart. Because, like, the whole thing is he wants to scramble
they want
the
to
tracing
scramble
number
their
on the ship.
Yeah, they want to scramble their signals so they aren't caught by the Empire through
Yeah, because of all the
transmissions.
chain codes and stuff they got going on.
But they land on a planet called Pantora, which
is not Pandora
no
from Avatar
but
or the music platform.
But the people are blue. But I'm just now realizing that we see Pantorians in Revenge of the Sith, but we also see them in the Clone Wars as well when they go to a moon that surrounds their planet that they basically own.
Oh, okay.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like if like a planet circulates around your, I don't know,
Yeah,
something like that.
They own the moon because it orbits
Basically.
their planet.
Like it's like Pantora's moon. So
Gotcha.
it's kind of like, but nothing special about the Pantorians yet. Like it's cool that we saw their planet, and a lot of the scenery in the events that happened on Pantora remind me a lot of the chasing sequence in Attack of the Clones.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, you said chasing sequence to call out a specific part, but, like, yeah, that city just looks like copy and paste of
Coruscant.
you pretty much. I can't remember the name of the movie, but, like, when they try to kill Palpatine's assassin and then they have that whole chase through Coruscant.
Attack of the Clones.
I mean, they even ripped the whole soundtrack, basically,
honestly,
of the cars.
It literally sound like every vehicle basically flown, you could say, is
They just reused this old sound, which I like because that's a good way to keep it consistent. But yeah, that's all I could think of was just flashback of the old movie, and I'm like, whoa, this is kind of cool.
yeah. No, there are definitely cool things that happen in this episode, without a doubt. But some of it,
I don't know. I personally liked it, and then you brought up the filler thing, and it's like, yeah, I guess technically it's filler, but
if I'm being honest, I have mixed emotions about this show so far. Like, yeah, we're only 4 episodes in, and it definitely has room to get better. Same with the Clone Wars. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Clone Wars during like the first half of the first season. So,
right. Well, because I feel like it's going to be like the Clone Wars in that it's going to be multiple seasons.
Yeah.
So they have to kind of take their time to build stuff up to get us invested for this long ride that we're going to have to go on.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm okay with that. Like, I think we looked it up and it says season 1 is 14 episodes.
14 or 16.
And that seems like okay to me. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, no, I'm like, that is shorter than a typical Clone Wars season, but only by like 4 episodes, so.
Yeah, and for season 1, maybe they're just doing it short to see how it goes first.
Yeah, and I'm just glad it's not like what the MCU is doing with their shows. Like, yes, they are limited, but.
Right. I thought you were going to say something about like how they're only like 6 or 8 episodes. Because technically, they're like an hour long, so that's about the same content.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the MCU a little bit more in the sense that we don't have to wait as long. I would much rather have 6 hour-long episodes than 12 half-hour episodes, because now I have to wait like 3 months instead of 1.5.
Yeah, realistically, I would prefer the hour-long episodes than the 30-minute. But,
they could just do an hour-long episode every week. I'd be cool with that, too.
Yeah?
Like the finale, the finale, the season premiere. Or series premiere, I guess. But something I wanted to note about the beginning of this one is Omega's weird.
Why is that?
Like, she shows pretty good restraint. Maybe this is just me, but at the beginning, seeing the controls when she said she didn't want to go on that inhabited planet she wanted to explore, and then like they left and she just kind of sits like, Pandora. I really thought she was going to mess with the controls and like go to another planet because she said she wanted to explore. But she was just kind of cool with their plan. But then other times...
She wasn't cool with their plan of going to an uninhabited planet. She was cool with the fact that they had to land on a nearby system anyway to do what they had to do with scrambling their signal. So either way, they had to land on not necessarily Pandora, but it would have been another planet, and probably the same shit would have went down.
I mean, no, for sure not. Because if they landed on the uninhabited planet, nobody would have told them where they were.
Well, the uninhabited planet is probably a lot farther than where...
It just would have been worse because they would have had to hunt for their food.
Yeah.
And somehow you're not getting credits on an uninhabited planet. That's just survival, pretty much.
You won't need credits on an uninhabited planet.
Right. But, I don't know, then in other episodes, you see Omega, like, just run into a clearly fenced-off place filled with monsters.
Yeah.
And then, like, Cut's wife has to shoot a turret off the top of the house to get it away. So she's just weird. The way she picks, like, her exploration moments are, like, kind of weird. I can't pin her down yet.
I can't blame her. She has only been on Camino for however many years she was alive for.
I don't know if she has the advanced aging or not.
I mean,
it's not specified, and it's only been...
It's not specified, and
it's too early to tell.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe if they do a second season, maybe it won't be like a 2-year gap or whatever. Maybe it'd be like a 5 or 6 year gap from the ending of season 1 to the beginning of season 2. Who knows? I don't know. But to get back on topic, the Bad Batch, that they land on Pandora to do what we've stated.
I love how they try to make money.
Yeah. One way that they actually gain or get Imperial credits. So Echo, he basically looks like a droid with his helmet on.
To be fair, he's like 85% droid. What's he got? Like a normal arm and a head, I think. Maybe some torso.
About and legs as well.
Okay, but that arm is definitely not there.
Yeah, that arm is gone.
Which that's what sold the costume, I think.
Yeah.
Because you can't fake that.
Yeah, no, you really can't. But Hunter ends up selling Echo to a not an arms dealer, but
Hey, he runs a reputable business here. He doesn't even want to buy illegal explosives.
yeah, really.
But he wants your prototype military droid.
He wants your prototype military droid. And Hunter ends up selling Echo for 3,000 Imperial credits.
You know what this reminded me of? Do you know that gag where you see like someone drill a hole in a quarter and like tie a string to it and then put it in a soda machine, get their soda, and pull it back out? That's exactly what it reminded me of, because Hunter, like the whole time they were like, all right, you're going to go to him, we're going to get the money, and then when we got the money and we're good, I'm just going to radio you and you can walk out.
Wait, honestly, the bit that I found the most funny, like, I think I'm worth more than 3,000.
No, it was originally 2,000 credits. And he goes, I'm worth more than 2, and he doubled it to 4.
Well, he doubled it to 4, but then the guy that he was selling Echo to lowered it to 3,000, and Echo did not look like he was all for it.
He wasn't going to take it, but Hunter said yes, because you saw that look. You That actually, okay, I'm a little mad that I didn't do this. I wonder if I can do it now. Do you know, like, how Imperial credits transfer to US dollars?
For being a Star Wars fan, you'd think that's something I would know, but there's a lot that I don't know about the Star Wars universe. So, Imperial credit, or just credits in general to US dollars, no clue.
According to Wikipedia, a DL-44 costs 750 credits, which basic division gives 2 to 1. So this would mean 1 credit is worth $2.10.
So Han Solo's blaster would be maybe almost $200.
I don't know how they got. Is that what that was? His gun?
DL-44, yeah, that's Han Solo's blaster.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what that was. So it's saying that it was 750 credits for his gun.
Yeah.
I don't get why they're doing 1,600 divided by 750. But anyway, I don't know. It says...
Isn't that doubled? That's
14.
That'd be 750 times 2, right?
No, because 7 and 7 is 14, so 7
Yeah,
and a
but
half would be
750.
15.
Yeah, what? Why wouldn't they?
1,500 if they were going to double.
Yeah, then where's the 1,600 coming from?
How much is 1 galactic credit worth? Yes, I'd very much like to know. Okay, so it depends on where you are in the galaxy, what you're trying to buy, and whether you mean a Republic credit, an Imperial credit, or a New Republic credit. Well, I said Imperial credit. This is getting too complicated, so I'm just going to say it's $2.
Okay.
Because it says $2.10. I don't know where they got their math from, but I'm just going to go with it.
Yeah.
So...
Like, can we get a statement straight from Disney? Like...
That's crazy. So $2... So 1 credit is $2, and his gun was 750 credits, which means his gun was $1,500.
Jesus.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's expensive. Fuck.
I don't know how much real gun prices are, but that seems like a hell of a lot for a... He has like a pistol pretty much. It's just a little blaster.
Yeah, and the funny thing is too, it's modeled after the Mauser pistol from World War I.
Oh, okay. But anyway, so if we're going off of this and we're saying that it's about $2 a credit, then that means that he bought Echo for $6,000 because it's just doubling the price pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much. Look up how much a Mauser would cost.
How much a Mauser would cost?
Mauser. Because that's what the DL-44 is modeled after.
How much does a Mauser cost? That's what it's... Okay, so you want to see what realistic... Whoa! The Mauser 12 was the most affordable model, but it still costs from $1,000 to $1,500.
So
A brand new Mauser 98, anywhere from $8,000 to $15,000.
okay, damn. So
Wow, that checks out.
That really does check out with how much the DL44 would cost.
Okay, so $750 credit. Wow, all right. So I'm cool with doubling it then.
Yeah,
that's pretty. Wow, all right.
That honestly, I was expecting like a really low number.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna have to like think about trying to fudge it or whatever, but no, that checked out pretty good. All right, so yeah, he bought Echo for $6,000.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't really know how much it is to sell someone into human slavery or droid slavery, I guess, but if someone sold me for $6,000, I think I'd be okay with it.
I mean, I personally don't think I'd be worth 6,000.
What do you mean, less or more?
Less.
Oh, okay.
That's
what I'm saying. If
I'm
someone
not
offered 6,000 for me, I'd be like, yeah, all right, you got yourself a deal.
I mean, you got yourself a deal, but you're getting scammed.
But Echo looked like, no, I'm worth more than that. Do you think the technology that is in him is worth more than that?
Yes, because that is separatist technology, and the separatists are no longer. So, it would, if anything, it'd be worth more.
So you think,
especially on the black market?
Oh, so you think like, if this was an episode of like Star Wars Pawn Stars, we'd get like top dollar for that technology because it's like collector value?
Most likely, yes.
Okay, all right.
Like the separatists are no more. It in Echo would, if anything, would be sold as an antique.
Wow, that's interesting though. So okay, random question you're probably not going to have an answer to. Does this mean Echo is immortal? Like, he's a clone, he's got that advanced aging, but is he going to stay alive till his heart stops, or does his machinery keep him going?
His machinery is not what keeps him alive. He's definitely running on heart.
Oh, okay. So he's just going to die as soon as any of the other clones?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Actually, I can't give a definitive answer, because at the end of the day, I really don't know.
Now I'm curious. Ask that same question, but about Grievous.
But the technology that was implanted in Echo, I'm pretty sure... I'm pretty sure he would need that to stay alive, because, like, his...
Like the respirator for Anakin type?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think it's going to make him immortal. Like, he's definitely going to be expiring around the same time the rest of the clones do.
Okay. Well, because theoretically a machine wouldn't die until it breaks or the power source is off, so I didn't know what I guess his power source is his heart. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So that's the same for Grievous then? That's why he got shot in the chest, because he had to kill his heart to kill him?
Yeah, because literally, like, other than Grievous's, like, chest and, like, brain and even, like, skull, he's all machine. Like, you could damage him all you want. Like, you could chop off all of his limbs. That man's staying alive.
Right, but at the end of the day, once his heart or brain gives out, he's donezo.
Yes.
So that doesn't seem like a good trade-off to me. I'm sorry, but if I'm gonna replace myself, like, to become a cyborg, I feel like I would want to live longer than I normally would as a human. That would be part of it.
Like, speaking of cyborgs, like Cyborg from Teen Titans... we've seen in episodes of Teen Titans him, like, his battery dying.
Yes.
But he could be recharged, but I don't think he runs off of the blood pumping in and out of his heart.
No, him, it's just like he's got a bunch of prosthetics on, pretty much. Like you said, once his battery dies, like, all of the machine parts stop working. Like Iron Man's suit.
Yeah, about. And you know, that's kind of off topic, but still on topic in a way, because, you know, we're talking about, like...
Wow, yeah, then I really want to know what Star Wars technology they have to be able to connect the heart to be
some crazy shit, man.
I mean, it doesn't seem that impossible, because think about it, we run on electric signals.
Yeah, we do.
The same way that if I had my arm amputated, I could get a robotic one here, and it would be able to tell the signals I'm sending through the arm, and that the hand would still open and close.
Yeah.
So, wow, that checks out too. That's crazy.
That's Honestly, I was really surprised about the Mauser costing about the same as the DL-44.
That was
in
pretty
US Dual.
good, yeah. I wonder if he got a really crappy Mauser for like 1,000 and then just paid the extra 500 because he got a modified blaster, or if he just that was how he bought it default.
That might have been how he bought it default.
Yeah, but think about the
But then
Millennium
again-
Falcon. He's a tinkerer.
But then again, we don't know if Han actually bought it. He could have smuggled it. He is a smuggler after all.
Okay, well then now I'm curious to know where that website figured out that his blaster was worth 750 credits. Cause now I feel like an ass. I just assumed it was from like a movie, like it was mentioned somewhere. Oh yeah, I paid 750 for this or something. Like small talk between him and Leia at some point.
Yeah, it has never been stated in any of the things we see Han in.
I don't know.
Talk about the price of his blaster.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know. But I have a way bigger issue.
What's that?
So, after watching this for 4 episodes, I still haven't been able to figure it out. Like, I have a couple theories, but why do the clones still have Jango's accent? Like, I mean, Omega has it even more. She's got an even thicker accent. But, like, all of the clones speak with that accent. And the way you talk, your accent is not genetic.
Maybe it's because the Phase 1 clones, during the Phase 1 clones production, Jango was on Kamino. So maybe Jango trained them and, you know, got used to hearing how he talks or whatever. So maybe they adapted it from, like, their training. And then when Jango died, maybe the Phase 1 clones were set to train the Phase 2 clones, and then so on and so forth.
So, okay, domino effect.
Yes.
That seems like the most self-explanatory, but it's just really weird to me, because even the Kaminoans don't have that accent.
No, they're not played by a New Zealand actor, so...
I mean, is Django Fett New Zealand?
The actor who plays him, yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought that was, like, when you say he was doing an accent, I thought that meant he was just doing a fake accent.
No. D. Bradley Baker, the dude who voices the clones, he's doing an accent to try to match up with the actor who actually portrayed them in the movies.
Oh, okay, so, again, the accents we're hearing in the Bad Batch is not the same voice actor of Django?
No.
Okay, but they're doing their best to recreate. Okay, I see.
It's not one for one, but what the voice actor is doing the accent.
Right.
He's not sounding like the actor who plays Jango Fett in the movies.
Well, you can't, but yeah, the accent. Okay,
yeah,
I see.
The accent is the thing that...
Well, yeah, that's the most important.
Yeah.
Like, I could get by with you having a different voice actor, because, I mean, anything Star Wars pretty much has a different voice actor, other than the movies.
Yeah.
Like, games are different than books, are different than movies, are different than shows. Like, I wouldn't expect it to match up perfectly like that.
But if you hire someone well enough, like James Arnold Taylor, he does a pretty good Obi-Wan, matching with Ewan McGregor.
Oh, okay. Speaking of Obi-Wan, I'm kind of interested for that show, too.
Same. Like,
I don't know much about it, other than it's about Obi-Wan.
It's pretty much gonna be about Obi-Wan in exile on Tatooine. So.
Oh, okay. I really need to go back and just, like, either watch a history video of Star Wars or watch all 6 originals, because you name the movies by name, or you'll say a certain event like the exile, and it's like I don't even remember where exactly that was.
Oh, well,
I don't remember him being exiled.
He was never... I mean, he what? I guess...
Like, I remember Vader killing him.
In a way, every Jedi who survived Order 66 was exiled because they had to, like, they had to go in hiding.
Okay, but then you should say they're on the run, because exiled means that you have been kicked out of a place.
And But in a way,
Like, Zach,
the
if you
Jedi
fart in my
kinda-
room right now and it's just a stanker, it's just unforgivable. I'm like, you are I don't want
in
you in
a
here.
way,
That's
they
exile.
kind of were kicked out of a place because Order 66 is all Jedi need to be eliminated due to acts of treason, even though they really didn't perform
Right, but
acts of-
exile is more merciful than what they're doing.
Well,
They would have just
yeah.
killed him on sight. Exile
Yeah.
is choosing to tell you to leave.
And I only use the word exile because
yeah,
that's
yeah,
how
yeah.
everyone
Got
words
you.
it.
All
Yeah, like Yoda. Everyone says that he went into exile on Dagobah.
No, he just went in. I think of Yoda as going in retirement, personally.
Yeah, honestly, that's like a retirement home.
Like, he seems like one of the old dudes that, like, makes his money and then moves down to Florida. Like, he just retired to the Dagobah swamp, which isn't that much different from the Florida swamp, you know? Like,
yeah,
he just seems like a shriveled old dude who had his time, put it in, and then he just went to live out the rest of his days.
and then shortly came out of retirement for a little bit when Luke arrived.
As you naturally do.
Yeah.
It's always in those movies, oh, now I'm being reluctantly called back in again. Time to suit up. And by suit up, I mean be this boy's backpack.
But I like how we keep getting a little off track, but you know, that's all right. But
So you said that the bounty hunter that was chasing Omega is Fennec Shand.
yes, Fennec Shand. She is a character from The Mandalorian, as I
Okay.
stated. And
Ming Na Wen is the one who plays her, right?
Yes.
And she voices her in this, which I like.
yeah, I like when they actually do that. But in The Mandalorian, she was sent to retrieve Grogu from The Mandalorian, and
You say Grogu out loud, but my heart says Baby Yoda on the inside.
yeah. But you know, and you know, is it just me or is it a little deja vu? She fails that mission too.
She's got a bad track record.
You got to make a living somehow, you know.
But how has she not died yet? Or how does she still get jobs?
Yeah,
Like, what the heck?
Like, is there something we don't know about her where, like, she's been on a bunch of successful missions and just the ones that we've seen in media form, or
Right.
like,
I mean, I guess, like even Hunter said, she is well trained, so I'm sure there's got to be some backstory. Okay.
which
Something
I
about
know where I think I know
What?
where you're going with this. But spell it. Spill the beans.
something about you said earlier when you said like it could have been any it could have been
Okay,
any
not where I thought
assassin,
where
right?
you were going,
but you said it could have been any assassin that was hunting Omega, but I kind of think that no, it can't be because it has to be her because we're gonna have to. I think there's a reason that he said she's well trained, and there's a reason that we don't know who hired her yet because it's supposed to be a big reveal, and because I think she trained with some powerful people, and we're probably going to get episodes giving her even more backstory.
I could definitely see that. But where you were going with it, I thought you were going to bring up the theory that I believe Star Wars theory had about her possibly being trained by Jango Fett while he was still alive, and
Oh, yes.
and then her being tasked to bring in Omega by
Who was in The Mandalorian with her? Was it Jango or Boba?
it was Boba.
Okay.
Oh, and then the theory goes along the lines of her joining alongside Boba.
His assassin squad that he had.
Yes, during the Clone Wars, actually.
Yes, I can't remember what it was called officially, but like his group of assassins that he had, she joined that because she worked with his father.
Yeah, and that's actually a very plausible theory.
Does that line up though? If you look at how old Boba is when he was next to her he seems like he's older than her in The Mandalorian. And he doesn't have advanced aging.
He might look like he's older, but you need to watch the movie sometime, man. In Return of the Jedi, we see him on Tatooine along Jabba's sail barge when they're about to execute Han, but he gets rescued. But basically, Han is about to get executed. Boba is there to watch it because he's the bounty hunter that brought him in.
Right.
And while Luke is basically rescuing Han and Leia, because even Leia was captured by Jabba, we quote unquote see him defeated, and his jetpack gets like poked into by a spear.
Yeah.
And it malfunctions, and it sends him flying into a Sarlacc pit. If you don't know what a Sarlacc pit is, I'm probably not going to be doing it. Okay. It's basically a giant, like, Venus flytrap, but in the ground.
Yep.
And he somehow escapes that, so the oldness might come from the scars on his face. So that could, make sense. But I'm pretty sure the actor himself, I think, is younger than Ming-Na Wen.
Well, yeah, but you don't really necessarily have to go based on the actors' ages.
No, you definitely don't.
I don't know. It just seems more likely that she just worked with Boba himself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's not totally unplausible. Maybe she did work with his father and him somehow, and that's how she's so trained. But personally, I feel like she should have been able to beat them more if she was trained by them, no?
Yeah.
Because the only reason that the assassins were stopped in the original movies is because they were fighting Jedi. These aren't Jedi.
No, these are trained clones.
Sure,
so.
it's the Bad Batch. They're a little better than clones, but they're still not Jedi.
And we saw Fennec Shand straight up chuck Wrecker to the side.
She just decked him and got him out of the way. Yeah, exactly. So, like, if she can take care of him, who I would argue is the strongest on the team.
We literally see him lift a Republic gunship to rescue someone.
Yeah, he's the
Not
strongest
during the
on
Bad
the team.
Batch, but in the Clone Wars we see it.
Right. I remember watching that scene you showed me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, if he's the strongest and he got stopped, then she should have been able to take them out, I feel like. Because they weren't really unified at that point. She kind of was going after people one-on-one.
Maybe it was because Hunter knows how to... Like, obviously, he's a scavenger. Or, not a scavenger. What's the word I'm looking for?
A hunter?
He's literally
a tracker?
A tracker, yes. Maybe it's because... When you're a tracker, you have to learn, like, learn the layout of the land, right?
Right.
Maybe that's what Hunter did.
He has heightened senses, too.
Yes, he does. I forgot about that. Maybe that's possibly how she didn't capture... Or, I don't know. It's weird because 1 minute they're on the ground, the next minute they're up in the air on them speeders, and then she just kind of, like, dips while they escape, and,
Yeah, but I still... Okay, so what you just said. Yeah, they were on the ground, which I'm fine with Hunter getting the upper hand on her there. He's tracking her. That's totally normal. But then on those speeders, I don't really think Hunter should know how to drive a car like that well. I mean, they're still acclimating to civilian life, but he's out driving her and exploding her vehicle? And sure, I could forgive that, but I don't know. If they were all together like they should be, like I'm sure the show is going to get to like all of them coming together for a battle, then yeah, I would totally understand them kicking her ass, but it was sort of one-on-one.
Yeah, it was literally one-on-one, and then when one got defeated, she moved on to the next.
And then somehow they still all got to the ship before she got there. I was a little annoyed at that. But obviously you couldn't have her catch him this episode because now she's got to come back next episode.
We're only 4 episodes in, and there's rumored to be 14 or 16, so...
I know you don't get Avatar, but this is going to be like Zuko and Aang, I feel like.
When we said Avatar, I thought you meant the movie by James Cameron.
No, I meant like The Last Airbender.
Yeah.
Like Aang, he's, the Avatar, and this guy's just chasing him for so long throughout the show before he ever really, like, gets a good hold of him. And that's got to be what's going to happen now. Now she's going to be a main character in the show, I feel. side character, I guess.
Yeah. And with her being in the show, hopefully there are going to be a few tie-ins to The Mandalorian. Like, obviously this happens before the events of The Mandalorian, but...
Her herself is a tie-in to The Mandalorian.
Well, yeah, but... I don't know. Maybe, hopefully there'll be a few, like, references to future events.
Possibly. I can't theorize on that because I haven't watched it, so I don't know the events to be looking for.
Like...
From The Mandalorian, other than Grogu, but he would stick out like a sore thumb, so that would be stupid.
Yeah, and that's another thing. This is kind of like me being like, oh, that'd be cool. Like, it would be kind of interesting if we did see Grogu in this show. I highly doubt it, but, you know, why not? You know, they brought in Fennec Shand.
Well, okay. I think why not? Because if they do, then it's almost for certain that Omega and the Bad Batch are going to die by the end of this. Because Grogu was such a big reveal in The Mandalorian, like, nobody knew about him before that. So if he pops up in this, every loose end is going to have to be dealt with.
Yeah, they're going to have to answer some questions.
So now I kind of hope you're wrong, and I hope he's not in the show, because I don't want all of them to die.
Well, I don't want him to be in the show either, because by the...
When you put it like that...
In the timeline... I'm pretty sure he's like still.
Didn't you say he was 50 in The Mandalorian?
He's 50 in The Mandalorian.
If you're going off like Fennec Shand, right? Like if you're going off her, then he's the same age as her, basically.
Basically, yeah.
So he would be alive here. He would just not. We don't know where he is.
But he definitely would not be as strong with the Force as he was in The Mandalorian. Like, he's strong with the Force, he just doesn't know how to use it yet.
He's still a baby in The Mandalorian. How does he know how to use it?
He's basically a toddler in The Mandalorian, because he'd be walking.
He does?
Walking.
He walks in The Mandalorian?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, duh, I'm stupid. I see him with the little, in his cape. Yeah, okay. So a toddler, so a 50-year-old Yoda is the equivalent to, like, a 2-year-old?
Basically.
Because he can't talk yet.
No, he cannot.
And you know
he
Yoda
still makes
his
little adorable noises.
Well, yes, but that's how I can place him. Like, he can't be older than 2 because he's not really talking yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't... Unless the people that were raising him just weren't teaching him right. I don't think you should be able to talk. Like, I don't... Older than 2, you should be able to talk, I feel like. A little bit.
Yeah.
Not like full sentences, but like a little bit. You should be able to say a couple words, and he's only making noises. He's not there yet.
No, he's not. And now that you say that, though, you also gotta think, he's also not around his species.
Right.
So, there's probably that. Why he's not able to talk yet.
I don't think that has anything to do with it, because, again, like, your language is not genetic.
Yeah.
You associate words with objects because you live in a house with your parents that told you, like, this is microphone, that is shelf. You know that because we taught you that.
Yeah.
Like, a black person in Africa doesn't speak the same way as a black person in the UK because they have different accents, because, like, I would speak different if I was in the UK or Ireland, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
The genetics don't have anything to do with accents, so I don't really see how him being removed from his species would have anything to do with that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's weird anyway.
I don't know. We don't know much about his species as it is.
I just want him to grow up so I can see him with a lightsaber and talk a little bit.
It honestly would be kind of interesting to see him in the, like, Clone Wars Bad Batch art style, though.
I don't personally like that art style.
I'm not the biggest fan of the art style either, because
I feel like they used the best art style they had for when Clone Wars came out, but they could have done better now, and the only reason they're sticking with it is because they're trying to keep with the theme of Clone Wars.
Yeah.
But I don't like it. Like, people...
No, it's definitely gotten better over the years.
Yeah,
Like Season 6 and Season 7... honestly, are like 3D animated movie quality.
Like, I don't know. Anakin looks weird. people, like human people, they kind of look weird to me in this art style. Aliens, they're fine. I don't know why they look okay. It's because I'm not used to seeing their shapes.
Yeah.
So I can't assume I know what they look
When
like.
the Clone Wars first came out, I honestly thought Yoda looked like a lot really weird because like he has like bigger eyes in the Clone Wars art style, and you could see his gray hairs clear as day. His ears though, big as ever.
Yeah, he's okay. I don't know. It's not horrible. Like I'll watch the show, I like it, but I don't really care for the art style. It's meh. But back to story-wise,
Yeah.
we were talking about Fennec Chan,
Yep.
and we see her finally meet Omega, and she shows her, like, kind of like she starts to be a bad influence on her. She shows her, oh, hey, we're going to steal this food. And
Doesn't she purposely bump into the lady that was carrying them?
yeah, because
sorry.
she wants to get food. So she bumped into him.
And then she helps her pick them up, but then she sticks 2 of the fruit or whatever in her helmet.
Yeah, like helmet.
And the
then
late
just-
and like Fennec is holding them right there. Like
she's holding her
I'd be
helmet
able
in
to
her
see
arm.
that.
Yeah, she took her helmet off. It's under her armpit with 2.
How didn't that lady see that?
I don't know. I know she's holding the basket in front, but I mean, even me, I'd look
be able
to the side.
see over.
Yeah, I'd look over. I'd look to the side. I'd turn sideways so I could watch you picking up my fruit. Because I wouldn't have, if you just ran into me, I wouldn't expect you to pick it up. I would have stopped to pick it up.
Yeah.
And then once I saw that nice, I'd been like, oh, okay, thank you. So she definitely should have been looking.
Or maybe, I don't know. I was gonna say maybe she did see it, but they were like, "Nah, she was nice enough. Help me pick it up. You know,
She
I'll let it slide."
Yeah, but she bumped into you in the first place.
Yeah, and that wasn't an accidental bump. That was.
And you're not
intentional.
telling me she didn't see over the basket, because how are you walking if you can't see where you're going?
And
You wouldn't hold the basket where you couldn't see over it at least a little bit to know someone's coming.
Yeah.
She wasn't shorter than her. It wasn't Omega in front of her. It was Fennec that bumped into her. So she saw her.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know. It was weird. It was a stupid way to steal food. They could have done it a little better. Like maybe Omega started helping her pick it up and Fennec just like pocketed 2 or something. But you see Fennec just throw 2 in the helmet first, then not even really hide the helmet and then pick the rest up. Even if I would have walked by, I feel like I would have peeked in the helmet and saw my food.
Yeah, I would have noticed.
Ah, sorry, dropped my phone.
I definitely would have noticed the fruit.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know. It annoyed me because, like, yeah, that didn't seem too plausible.
No.
But we just saw a chase on hover cars, so what is plausible anymore?
Speaking of that hover chase, just the fact that, like, we knew that chase was gonna end with Fennec Chan not dying because of an earlier project that takes place 30 years after.
The Mandalorian.
So, you know,
That's the one downside to the wonkiness of,
the
Not-
connectivity.
yeah, not just the Star Wars universe, because even Marvel does this, but, like, just the connectivity of how we release things is horrible sometimes.
You wanna know what the problem is? Like, this is what goes down. Like, I'm gonna use George Lucas as the main example because
Okay.
he is known to this, known for doing this. He gets this idea, starts a story, and then after the first 3, he waits a good 15 years. Like, you know what? I think time to do those prequels, and then adds a bunch of shit. Like, adds a bunch of details.
The CGI. Yep. I know what you're talking about.
No. I'm all right with the, like, changes in the original trilogy. I'm all right with that.
Oh, okay.
I'm even like, I'm especially all right with him making Yoda a full CGI character in the Phantom Menace because he was still the puppet in the Phantom Menace in the original cut of the film, but he made him a CGI, and I'm like, good. I like that version of Yoda the best. But like with the Clone Wars, that takes place between 2 and 3.
I'm a little mad
The
at
Force-
how old Star Wars is.
Yeah, it's
Just because, like, imagine, instead of expanding this universe of Star Wars, imagine a reboot.
I
Just with the CGI and the technology we have,
if
the
Star
old
Wars
movies
was
could
made,
look so good.
yeah, but I don't know. I probably would not have gotten into Star Wars if Star Wars just became a thing in the 21st century.
Possibly, but it just makes me wonder with the limits of the technology that Lucas
Yeah.
and Spielberg had to work with, and I know how much puppet stuff they used. Like, a lot of the aliens
Yeah.
were just full-size
Yo,
marionettes.
Speaking of puppets, actors that were like in scenes with Yoda,
Yeah,
they were talking or dueling with a puppet.
that's fine. That's what an actor has to do sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But, excuse me, sorry. Those use of puppets, I wonder how much of that was, oh, I think a puppet's the best way to do this, and how much of that was, we have to do this with a puppet because we don't have anything else. Like, I feel like he took some technological liberties to try and get stuff to work the way that he needed it because technology kind of sucked back then.
Yeah.
I mean, it didn't, but it's better now.
Instead of a reboot, what if they were to like Alright, this is kind of like a reboot. What if they were to just redo the original 3 films, have actors like come in to play the proper parts, but then have their faces all CGI?
I was just gonna say, are you gonna have like deep fake actors
Yes.
with their faces of the originals on?
Yes.
They're just doing motion capture,
They're just reshooting,
and then all of the
scenes.
CGI is just redone.
Yes.
Dude, this isn't a video game. They're not remastering the movies, dude.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, you're right. You would have to bring physical actors in, though, because you couldn't just watch the original movies and
Just
replace all of the CGI.
yeah, you wouldn't be able to do like if you were to redo the CGI of like the scenery around the characters and that's it, and then you see the act like Carrie Fisher,
It's not.
Harrison
It's
Ford.
not gonna look right.
It's not gonna look right because like, oh hey, that looks like something that the background looks like something that came out today. But the camera quality on the actors, that looks like 1970s.
Well, obviously they would like
Yeah.
try to do what they could to stitch that up. But yeah, no, that's weird.
That would definitely be weird, but you know?
What's even weirder to think about is that's not like that's possible.
Oh, you know, it is. Like,
If someone really wanted to do that, you could do that right now, and that's weird to me.
and if they were to do a reboot or like newer projects with existing characters, like with Luke, Sebastian Stan, he actually
Looks like Mark Hamill.
He looks like a young Luke, and dude, and it's funny too because a bunch of
does.
fans have
Yep.
mentioned the Sebastian Stan like, yo, you need to play Luke Skywalker. He's like, I'll only play Luke Skywalker if Mark Hamill gives me the
Okay.
okay, yeah.
I feel like, yeah.
I would be fine with that because he actually looks like
Actually, no. I don't think Mark Hamill would give the okay because I don't think they would recast Luke until Mark Hamill dies.
well, but a young Luke, like talking like maybe if they were to do a show, a live action Star Wars show that takes place, like between 4 and 5.
Possibly, but again, why not just de-age Mark Hamill, use him?
Well, that'd be harder.
You're gonna have to CGI Sebastian to fully look like Mark anyway, so I mean, if you're gonna do that...
And Mark Hamill isn't in the same body shape as he was 40 years ago.
You're right, but that wouldn't be that hard to fix either.
I mean, it wouldn't, because I don't know, if you look at like the MCU movies, they add body to certain actors.
Right, but also look at the first Avenger where they took body away from Chris Evans.
Oh, well, they also had someone coming in.
Okay, misconception. Time
yeah,
out.
Yeah.
They did not have a skinny dude play the whole movie out and then put Chris Evans' face on top of him. What they did is that's actually buff Chris Evans throughout the whole movie, and they actually shrunk him down to look more normal. But you're right, they did have another guy that came in who was like an actual body double for what Steve Rogers needed to look like. And he would be the one, like, he would sit down on the operating table, like in the before scenes of when he goes in the chamber.
Yeah.
And he would be there. They would use him for reference to shrink Steve down, but they would also replace him with the body in a couple parts. But throughout most of that movie, that's actually Chris Evans.
That's very interesting.
Because he said in a couple interviews, he wanted to be him. He wanted it to be him during the movie because, like, he needed to play that performance.
Yeah.
Like Steve Rogers. He has to be Steve Rogers for the whole thing, otherwise it doesn't work. Because it needs to be believable.
I wonder how the editing was, though, because like Steve Rogers before Super Soldier Serum, like not even as tall as Bucky yet, and then after, I'm pretty sure a little taller.
I think so, because he's at like the peak of human. You know what's weird to me? If he's at the peak of human perfection, why isn't he like 7 feet tall?
Yeah.
Because if that's how tall a human can get without like a pituitary problem or something, like without an out of ordinary problem, I feel like he'd be able to get taller than, like, he should be like 6'6" at least.
Yeah.
At least. And I don't know if he's not. I don't know how tall he actually is, but I just feel like he should be taller for being the top standard of male physique.
Yeah. I don't know. How tall is Shaq? Isn't he like 7, like somewhere in between 7 and 8?
He's 7'1". He's not that big, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How tall is Captain America? It says he's 6'2". Which, yeah, that is sort of big, but not really.
That's kind of crazy to think, though, because I'm only 3 inches shorter than him.
What are you, 5'11"?
I'm like 5. I don't know exactly, but I'm somewhere between 5'10" and 6 foot.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm 5'9".
Okay,
So, yeah. I feel like he should be taller than 6'2" as Cap. What? Like 6'6" for me is shortest. He should be if he's at the peak of male physique.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's weird.
A little bit.
But I can't even remember how we started talking about that.
Yeah, I don't remember either.
But I know where it started from. We were talking about that it's weird. Well, I personally don't like it all the time when we release stuff out of order because, like you said, we know Fennec Chan doesn't die in the Bad Batch.
Yeah.
She can't. We see her 30 years later. Unless she's a freaking clone, too.
Literally the most we see happen to Fennec in this episode is
she's limping at the end of the explosion.
Yeah.
Woo.
Oh my gosh, she got injured. Oh no.
It's probably from the diving off of the exploding
Yeah, it's
thing.
not even that she was in the explosion.
Right.
Her diving off and landing on the ground so that she didn't.
Right. I'm so curious as to who she's working for, though.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it would be a crazy plot twist if somehow Tarkin or Palpatine knows of Omega. Well, Tarkin knows of Omega, but we don't know.
Does he?
Yeah, she's right next to Nala Se when her and Tarkin are talking.
Oh, wait, yeah, duh. She was captured in the cell. I'm stupid. Okay, yes.
But do we know if Tarkin
interesting.
knows, of Omega, like, what she is?
Judging from the fact that she was locked up, was that just bait for the Bad Batch, though? I don't know.
No,
I feel like
locked
he
up with them though.
Right, but she was there first, and they came back to get her. Like, because they knew she was locked up. So
Why was she locked up?
that's right. I'm trying to remember that,
I don't remember at all.
but I feel like Tarkin knows. If he's seen her, then he's got to assume there's something more than just she's a little girl. Like, she's another clone, clearly.
So, yeah, maybe, what if it was Tarkin?
That kind of actually makes a lot of sense now. Because I was kind of thinking it was Nala Se. Maybe she wanted to get Omega back.
No, she
But
definitely wants Omega back, but if you remember when we rewatched that one clip, she, not her, but, Lama Su, or Lama Se, or, no.
the guy
Yeah, Lama
alien,
Su.
I don't know.
Yeah, Lama Su, I'm pretty sure. You're like, we need to keep this low key. He
Yeah,
didn't say it like that, but...
he basically said until we know their intentions, like, don't say anything about
Yeah,
this.
don't, like, we keep this shush.
And then in the last time we see the Kaminoans, they were talking about how they needed one of the Bad Batch members, but they wouldn't come back willingly, but they didn't.
But they had
Crosshair. Which I want to know what, like, the next step in their cloning thing is, because I thought it had something to hinge off of with Omega.
Yeah.
And I think it still does, but now they're moving focus to Crosshair because of his DNA.
Yeah. I mean, it's still Jango Fett's DNA, but you heard them say that his original...
It keeps deteriorating.
Yeah. So, like, they're not going to get the best clones using that DNA.
Right. So, but I'm just a little surprised. That doesn't make sense to me either, because why not just take one of the, like, you know how they cloned Jango and then his DNA started to deteriorate, so they just take a clone from the first batch, take his DNA. Now that's a piece of DNA that's the exact same, but it's new, so it doesn't die as quick.
Yeah.
Then take another one from that batch and that
Well,
batch.
you heard them. They want DNA from an enhanced clone, so...
Right. Which is going to be cool, because I think that means they're going to make an enhanced clone army.
That...
Because he even said they're trying to keep their operation going.
Yeah, Phase 3 clones, boy.
They want to keep their operation going. They want to make money. They want
getting their credits.
They don't want to be left in the dust. So I think like a Bad Batch army is coming.
Basically, without their form of credits coming in, the Camino is nothing without their credits.
But they bred the Bad Batch, giving them the specific mutations, right?
Yes.
Or is it it's not just they happen to do a lot of clones and a couple of them came out defective?
No, they messed with their genetic DNA.
Okay. So then why can't they repair the original DNA? But also, forget that question. If they use Crosshair as the basis for their new DNA, does that mean every clone is going to come out like Crosshair?
Maybe physique-wise, but skill-wise, not necessarily.
I feel like default-wise, they're all going to be Crosshair and have that sniper ability, but if they take his DNA and tweak it like they did before, maybe they can get some other mutations.
That'd be, actually, since you said it, that'd be interesting if they clone, or they get DNA from Crosshair and mess with it enough to where, like, they get another Bat Order, or Clone Force 99, but,
on their side with inhibitor chips.
Yes. That'd be kind of interesting.
Ooh, maybe that's the experiment they were talking about. What if Omega is a big mislead, and the experiment they're actually talking about is how do they get the clones to have the mutations but not mess up the inhibitor chip? That would be interesting.
That would be.
I feel like Omega has to be something, though, because they commented on, like, her hyper-awareness early on.
A lot of...
And she shot a blaster!
A lot of people are theorizing that she's a Force-sensitive clone, which I don't believe and don't think is plausible. Honestly, I'm really hoping she's... Because she is the 5th enhanced clone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping she's just a clone that has all of the abilities of the other 4 members.
Possibly. So maybe they were trying to make a mega mutated clone.
Like in the first episode, like she shoots the blaster out of Crosshair's hand,
Like
one shot.
Right. And she's never used a blaster before, she said.
And then I guess in episode 3, I guess you could say she did learn to track. I personally wouldn't say that's really tracking, because she saw where the Ordo Moon Dragon went,
Right.
and then followed him down there, and then there was only one path to go when she went in that little anthill tunnel thing.
Right. I'm not sure, but I guess she's... I don't know. I don't think that's it either, though. First of all, she can't be... I think it's plausible for a Force-sensitive clone.
No,
I don't
it
know
is.
how.
It is. We've seen Force-sensitive clones in Star Wars Legends, like the Force Unleashed.
Oh.
Yeah, in the first game, I've told you,
I don't care about the first game.
the invaders.
But, so there are clones that are Force-sensitive.
in
Prove it.
Legends.
Okay, so then, I mean, it's possible, but I agree with you. I don't think... What proves that she's Force-sensitive?
Nothing. We have not seen anything about
She's
her
just
being...
doing shit that the Bad Batch members can do.
Yeah.
Why aren't they speculated to be Force-sensitive?
Yeah, that's... I don't see how she is possibly Force sensitive. Like, they could, throw us off and, have maybe an end credit scene to the last episode to
Possibly.
give us a tease of her being Force sensitive. But until then, I do not believe she's Force sensitive.
I don't think so either at this point in time. Like, there's no proof that solidifies that
Honestly,
for me.
the day we get a Force sensitive clone in Star Wars canon is the day they pull out a card from another video game and bring a Star Killer from the Force Unleashed.
Didn't Palpatine clone himself?
I
haven't seen the newer movies.
He didn't clone himself, but he cloned Snoke, he made Snoke, which I think... I don't remember much about Snoke.
I don't know who that is.
Snoke, it was supposed to be the big bad of the sequel trilogy until that trilogy was rushed, and Ryan Johnson, who directed 8, killed Snoke off.
Set your can down.
And then J.J. Abrams had to come up with something quick, and that's how we got Palpatine back.
Right, but okay, how did Palpatine come back? He's a clone of himself, isn't he?
No,
So he got resurrected? Like, what happened?
I don't know.
How did he come back?
I don't know, but he's not a clone.
Oh, okay.
Because nothing's ever explained well. It's probably explained a lot better because there are novelizations of the movies. But to me, 8 and 9, they're not canon. They are canon, but not to me. Because they were bad. They were... I just don't like how they ended.
What? I'm so confused. The explanation is similar to one in Star Wars Dark Empire. There it was revealed Palpatine survived his apparent death in Return of the Jedi by transferring his essence into the body of an old, decaying clone.
What?
So, like, as he was falling or whatever, as he was falling, he died before he hit the ground. He transferred his essence from his mind out of his physical body vessel and moved it. He basically transferred his consciousness into another clone body, but are you just that strong with the Force that you can do that? How?
I'm so confused because, when the Death Star, when that gets blown up, that's not even, it's in the sight of, if you were on Endor, but, there wasn't really any other planet near it. It can move. It has been known to travel space. I don't know. I'm confused.
I don't know. It's just super,
Palpatine's
very weird.
Just weird. And, yeah. Just, 8 and 9 were not good movies. And I don't like the explanation that we were given in those movies at all. Well, actually, there wasn't really a lot of explanation in 8, but Palpatine's revival, there's not explanation at all, really.
So it says he was strapped to grotesque machinery inside a lab on the ancient Sith planet of Exegol. Life support and twisted Sith magic are the only things that keep Palpatine alive. Okay, so he's like Vader in the sense that he has to use technology, but
yeah, but
Sith magic?
But where is Exegol at? Like,
I don't know. What Sith magic?
Yeah, I don't.
I know that there was some mystical stuff about Star Wars because you could see the spirit of Yoda and Obi-Wan when they died, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. That's weird to me. That's very trippy. So he moved his essence into an old clone body, but he like, picked the wrong body because the clone was decaying, and then he just hooked himself up like Vader to life support?
I guess, man.
That doesn't make sense to me. He would have to be using like a spell to keep his body from not dying. That makes no sense.
I mean, it was pretty grotesque when you see him in 9, but...
No, I'm sure it was, but I refuse to believe that he could keep a clone body even sustainable for 30 years.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but don't the clones only live a couple years?
No, they live
10?
a few decades, like 2 decades at least.
Okay, so they're like 20. I don't know. That's weird. It was an old clone body to begin with anyway, so it wasn't a new one. So he didn't have 30 years of life for that clone body.
And that's another thing. If you think about a human body decaying, and say if it was a clone that died during the Clone Wars, wouldn't the body have been decayed entirely and it just be bones?
Possibly.
How long does a human body take to fully decay?
I'm not sure. I would want to say a couple weeks, at least. So when did he actually die? I can't remember. That was after Order 66, after the Clone Wars.
Literally died at the end of Return of the Jedi.
Okay, so yeah, that was.
And this is in between
years
Return of
after
the
the
Jedi
clones.
and Rise of Skywalker. That's 30 years.
Yeah, so that was 30 years after the clones basically died out, pretty much.
Pretty much.
So
there's no way that.
Yeah, that would have been a skeleton. I don't get it. I don't get how he can't. I don't know. That's weird.
I'm just so.
I haven't watched the movie, and now I don't even want to.
Yeah, 8 and 9 just. If me and you were to ever watch the movies, we'd watch 7, and that's it.
I mean, I guess if it is really lore sake, then I guess I want to watch them all so I know. But
let's be honest. I think Disney is gonna. There's been talk about Disney retconning the entire sequel trilogy.
Really?
And I hope. I like 7. I don't want 7 to get retconned, but 8 and 9, I want bye.
Okay.
They were all.
And again, I haven't seen 7, 8, or 9. I literally have not seen a Star Wars movie since Episode 6.
And that's perfectly fine.
Any of the new ones.
That's fine, because, no.
They're weird, but, like, what pisses me off is you see Marvel,
Yeah?
and you see how good they are, and you know that Disney owns both.
Yeah.
So why aren't you distributing your talent? Why don't you have the same type of people working on Star Wars? Why do you need to rush things?
Yeah, why was the sequel trilogy rushed?
Like, you're Disney. You already have money. You don't need to, like, get something out to make, like...
I get that you wanted a new trilogy of Star Wars out for a newer generation of kids.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
But why the rush? You had 5 Star Wars movies come out year after year, and yet
most of them have bad reviews.
Literally, the only good ones, in my opinion, are The Force Awakens and Rogue One.
I haven't seen any of them, but just off the top of my head, 8 and 9 are bad. Solo was bad.
It's just...
And that's 3 out of the 5 right there, isn't it?
Yeah. That's 3 out of the 5 that came out all year after year.
It was Solo, 8, 9, and then what did you have? Rogue One.
Rogue One and Force Awakens.
Yeah, wow. So there's only been 5 movies since Disney has it?
There's only been 5 Star Wars movies since Disney has acquired it.
That's
yes.
kind of weird. I thought there was more.
No. They
have a lot coming down the pipeline, though.
A lot of shows. They have a movie that Patty Jenkins is working on, which I'm kind of scared for because I've heard bad things about both the Wonder Woman movies. So
have you not seen them?
No.
I haven't seen the second one, but I have watched the first one, and it's meh.
And then Taika Waititi is, if I'm even pronouncing that right, he's working on a Star Wars film as well. I don't know what era, but people are hoping that it's Old Republic stuff, so events that happened before the Phantom Menace, before Anakin even becomes a Jedi. So
wow,
yeah,
that would be interesting. So it's like a prequel movie.
And
like I want a young Qui-Gon.
Yeah,
why can't we get Obi-Wan training? Why can't we see him as young as Anakin?
That, as much as I would like to see that, I think if he does do an Old Republic film, it's literally going to be like a few hundred years at least.
Interesting. So probably Qui-Gon's master as a Padawan, maybe?
Well, Count Dooku is Qui-Gon's master. Yeah.
Then how did he get to the dark side?
I forget the reasoning behind it, but something fell off or whatever, and I don't know. I don't remember. I've heard several times why he joined the dark side. I think he was power hungry. Count Dooku, I think he might have been power hungry.
Okay.
And he knew that the Sith taught you things that the Jedi did not.
You know, it's funny that they say that, yet the power of the light side of the Force is still stronger.
If you put it like that, yeah. The light side always ends up winning.
Right. But, okay, so that Dooku was in the movies. He was in
2 and 3.
Okay.
But he gets his head chopped off in the third one.
Right.
In the beginning.
But, so he was in the prequels.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah. So we have Anakin, Obi, Qui-Gon, Dooku. So yeah, not Dooku's master, but we could go back probably like 3 masters. We could see the guy that trained Dooku.
Yeah. There's... Honestly, people want to see Darth Plagueis.
I don't know who
that's Sidious's master.
Palpatine, yeah. Do we see him at all in any...
he's only mentioned in novels.
Oh, okay, because Palpatine's old, so...
and he was mentioned once in Revenge of the Sith. So
they want to see the evilness that created Palpatine?
Yes.
That is interesting, because for some reason I always associate Palpatine with like the birth of the dark side of the Force, which is stupid because it's so much older than that.
Yeah, it's thousands of years older.
So yeah, I kind of want to know what led to Palpatine being that.
And then not only that, there was a while back there was an article rumored about a Darth Maul show coming to Disney Plus, and I really wanted that to be true. Because we could see more Palpatine, and we could possibly see Plagueis even in that. Maybe we could see Palpatine killing his master in his sleep. Who knows?
Right.
But
we wouldn't get that in the Taika Waititi movie you're suggesting, then, because that's still like only one generation.
That's still prequel.
Yeah. That's only one generation before Palpatine. That's not late enough.
But yeah, but there's a Sith named Darth Revan or Revan. I don't know how to pronounce it. And people really want to see Keanu Reeves play that character in an Old Republic movie.
I think people want to see Keanu Reeves in any movie coming out ever.
Yeah.
to be honest. Like,
I mean, why not? You know, Keanu Reeves, you know, John Wick,
we just need to start having Keanu Reeves play every part in every movie. Like the Nutty Professor, but with Keanu Reeves. Like, he just plays every part.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
They're all gonna sell out immediately.
But yo.
Okay. Do you remember how everybody is like fan shipping Reed Richards as John Krasinski? Like, they want him to play Reed Richards.
Yeah.
Remember how we were talking about, like, oh, well then Emily Blunt would be the Invisible Girl, obviously. I was watching this video on YouTube that came out a couple days ago, I think.
Yeah.
And it was someone talking about Emily Blunt talking about being the Invisible Girl. But it's not what you're going to want to hear. So,
Yeah.
You know how there's always, like, rumors of, oh, we're talking to John about this, and we want Emily Blunt to play this. Like, they're always talking about different roles for different movies. She said that she was offered to play Black Widow. She was originally one of the people that was considered for Black Widow.
That's very interesting.
But she didn't know the character was going to be so big, and she didn't really want to do that at the time with whatever she had going on. So she refused it. And she basically sort of said, like, ever since then, she's never really got any contact from Marvel. So all of this fan casting is just that. It's literally fan casting based off of nothing. She said that her and John don't get calls from Marvel like everybody thinks.
Well, there has been statements made by John, like, yeah, it'd be pretty cool to, you know, play a character like that, you know.
But I don't know if she's lying like actors do. I feel like she's not.
Dude.
But I feel like, I don't know.
It definitely could be lying, because Ewan McGregor was lying for years before they revealed the Obi-Wan show. Like, he was like he's said on talk shows. He said on talk shows, like, yeah, fans come to me all the time, like, if you were given the opportunity, would you play Obi-Wan again? And be like, if something comes up, yeah. As, you know, they're working on a script for the show with him in it.
Came up, yeah. But of course, you don't want to reveal that too early because you want to have the hype.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. It seems less and less likely that Emily Blunt and John Krasinski would play the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Because from the slate that we're seeing now, maybe Marvel's being sneaky. But let's just assume they're not. And from that little sizzle trailer we saw, the Fantastic Four came up at the end. Which means earliest...
I hate because they didn't give us a release date.
Which means early... Well, it doesn't even mean that there's a movie. It was just a Fantastic Four logo. It don't mean anything, really.
Yeah.
But that means if it is foreshadowing a movie, the earliest that movie would come out is 2023, which is 2 years down the line.
Yeah.
And that means they probably wouldn't start filming till like 2023. So realistically, it might not come out till 2024 or late 2023.
Yeah,
so
I could see that.
2, 3, possibly 4 years out. And I just don't... They're going to use younger actors.
Yeah.
I know Reed Richards is an older guy.
Yeah.
But they're going to use younger actors. It's much easier to age them up than it is to age them down.
Yeah, sadly.
Like, they're probably going to pick lesser known people that are going to play these characters so they can play them longer. And then maybe we can go back in time, not back in time, but we can see, like, them as younger people, them as older people. Like, making John him would only work if they're doing a specific story where it's the older Reed Richards. But I don't want that to happen because I want to get the most out of Reed as we can. I want him to have the most longevity once he's introduced into the universe.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the Fantastic Four, I hope we see a good recreation of their actual origin story, like of the space mission that they're on. Because the original Fantastic Four that came out in like 2004, 2005,
something like that.
That that was pretty cool.
I always liked that movie.
Yeah, I liked both that movie and Rise of the Silver Surfer.
The Silver Surfer one, admittedly, was weird. And looking back on it now, hated that Galactus was a cloud.
Galactus was in that?
Yeah.
As a cloud?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, you don't remember that? Okay,
I haven't seen that one in like 10
Okay.
years, bro.
Rise of the Silver Surfer Galactus, yes.
Was he really a cloud?
He was like something else. He wasn't what he looks like on that poster up there. He was not looking in his normal form.
I'm sure.
Here, image.
That is
Rise of the
so
Silver
weird.
Surfer Galactus. That's Galactus.
As a cloud?
That's Galactus right there. That's all we get. I mean, yes, you kind of see him a little bit, I guess maybe like that, but no. That's pretty much all you get is just the shadow of him in the cloud. He's not even a person. He's just like, it's weird.
So the plot was they needed Silver Surfer to help them defeat Galactus?
No. Well, okay, so
I remember some shit in the movie where they needed to set up these machines. Oh wait, the machines were being set up to remove Silver Surfer from his board. Never mind.
yes. Okay, so I can't really remember the plot of the movie, to be honest with you, but what I know about the comics,
Yeah?
so the Silver Surfer is a herald of Galactus. So basically, Galactus is this huge guy, and he's so big and powerful that he eats planets to stay alive and consume energy. So he has heralds, which are basically little minions that he gives power to and sends them out to go find stuff for him to eat. So that means when the Silver Surfers come into your planet, Galactus is not far behind. So the premise of the second movie is Silver Surfer's here, which means Galactus is going to come to take over the world, and then they get the Silver Surfer off his board. They actually reason with him, and he helps them defeat Galactus, I think. Like, I think he sacrifices himself or something. I can't really remember.
To be honest, I don't really remember if they, like, defeat Galactus. I think Victor Von Doom is just the main villain again of this one. I could be wrong. I don't remember.
No, Galactus is definitely there because the Silver Surfer was there too. I
Yeah.
can't remember how Victor Von Doom fits into it, but also that's a whole nother thing. Like, I didn't realize how lore heavy Doctor Doom was in the MCU.
Yeah, literally.
He rules Latveria. Did not know that.
If they introduce Doctor Doom, there's a lot more crazy shit coming
I'm just
in.
a little annoyed because after now knowing what I know about Doctor Doom, he was very underutilized and underpowered in the old Fantastic Four movies.
Yeah, again, it could be limited
Right.
by tech and stuff, so...
Because he's a lot more mystical. I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
He's got powers and magic, I guess.
yeah. In Fortnite, when they had their little Marvel season, you could run into Doctor Doom and defeat him, and like he had like a glove, like an explosive bomb glove that you could shoot. And then like a gauntlet that is kind of like basically Iron Man's repulsors, but it's like green mystic fire stuff. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't remember that in the movie.
Me neither. But yeah, that's all the rambling I have for that episode.
Yeah.
The only other thing I'm super interested about is when this Loki finally comes out.
Yeah.
getting
Yeah.
trailers.
Speaking of which, the Bad Batch is actually going to be still going on when that show comes out.
Well, if a rough estimate, if it's 12 to 16 episodes, it's not going to end till about August. So yeah,
Yeah.
because this comes out in June or July.
Loki comes out in June. Black Widow comes out in July.
Okay, so then yes, which I'm okay with that because
Oh, yeah.
then we can shift focus and talk about multiple things on the episode. Like next
Yeah.
time, we don't need to start with, on this episode, we're going to be breaking down do. We can just start talking a little bit and then just, okay, let's talk about this topic, then this topic, then this topic.
Yeah. So, and then hopefully we can get our buddy Chris on for the episode of Loki or the episode before Loki.
I would love to try and set that up. I'm going to talk to him and see how he feels about that. But I'd love to set that up because I know he loves Loki, and that would be something I think he'd really be into.
Yeah, and me personally, I definitely want to see his background. Like,
Yeah, he's got some cool like Alien versus Predator stuff. swords, helmets. It's very interesting. But yeah, so that's what's coming up on GeeksspeaK.
We have been the Geeks That Speak.
And we'll see you next time.